Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're plunging headfirst into a topic that might sound a little niche at first glance, but is actually, well, it's absolutely booming. The global connected device management platform market. For anyone new to this, we're basically talking about the software and services that help companies manage all those connected devices out there. Think industrial sensors, smart home stuff, even fleets of connected vehicles. It's like the central command for the whole IoT revolution. And our source for this is this amazing market forecast, seriously packed with stats, projections, looking all the way from 2021 out to 2033, cover the whole globe. So our mission today, let's unpack these numbers. Let's try and understand this huge growth and maybe pinpoint some interesting trends, maybe even some surprises in this market.
Booming is definitely the right word. Globally, this market was valued at, let's see, just over $2.1 billion back in 2021.
Okay.
But the projections, they're pretty staggering. It's expected to surge to over 11.4 billion by 2033. Yeah, that reflects a really robust compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, of about 15.1%.
15%.
15.1%. And, to put that in perspective, that kind of sustained double-digit growth, it signals an incredibly dynamic market. It basically more than doubles in size every, 5 years or so. That number alone tells you there's a huge growth story here.
Seriously, that's some rapid, sustained expansion.
Mhm.
When you see that 15.1% CAGR globally, what's sort of the immediate takeaway? Is it just the sheer number of devices, or is something else pushing it so hard everywhere?
Well, it's interesting. It's really a mix. I mean, the sheer volume of devices, smart appliances, industrial sensors, you name it, that's definitely the foundation. But the core insight, I think, is the necessity of managing them now.
Right, it's not just a nice to have anymore.
Exactly. It's become critical for security, efficiency, scalability. It's essential. So this consistent double-digit growth we're seeing, it really signals a pervasive global trend. Everywhere, organizations are realizing, okay, we need sophisticated platforms to handle all our digital assets.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so let's maybe kick things off with North America. It's definitely leading the pack in terms of current market value.
Sure.
Back in 2021, its revenue was pretty substantial,
Yeah.
$843.65 million. And the forecast, it hits almost $4.3 billion, 4,286.72 million by 2033. That's a solid CAGR of 14.537%.
Yeah, and within North America, the United States is, well, dominant, as you probably guess. Its market was around $576 million in 2021,
Okay.
and that's projected to reach nearly $2.8 billion by 2033. So it's going at a 14.084% CAGR. A mature market, yes, but still showing very strong growth.
Right, and Canada's no slouch either. It's going from about $196 million in 2021 to over $1 billion, 1,058.82 million by 2033, and its CAGR is actually a bit higher, 15.07%. Does that maybe suggest a slightly different dynamic than the U.S., or is it just catching up fast?
Well, Canada's slightly higher CAGR. In a market this big, it often points to maybe a faster adoption curve in certain areas,
All right.
or perhaps a concentration in specific high-growth sectors, things like smart agriculture or managing natural resources using IoT, that kind of thing. But here's where it gets really interesting within North America. Mexico.
Okay.
Despite having a smaller market value in 2021, about $71 million, it boasts an even higher AGR, 16.362%.
16% plus.
Exactly. This projects its market to climb to over $430 million by 2033. Now, that accelerated growth, even from a smaller base, it's a clear sign of some significant digital transformation happening.
So what's driving that, do you think?
The data suggests Mexico is rapidly investing in foundational tech infrastructure, maybe driven by its booming manufacturing sector adopting industrial IoT or possibly smart city initiatives. It really raises the question of what specific factors accelerate growth like that.
Yeah, that Mexican example really highlights how varied the growth path can be. Okay, so from North America, let's shift focus across the pond to Europe. It seems to present a really diverse picture, too.
It does.
Overall, Europe's market was around $416 million in 2021, projected to grow to over $2.1 billion by 2033. That's a CTR of 14.57%. Pretty similar to North America overall.
Yeah, and you see key European players showing that steady, significant growth. The UK, for instance, contributed about $86 million in 2021 with a 14.068% CGR. Germany was around $71 million, 14.053% CAGR. France, about $57 million, 13.804% CGR. These are, established economies making consistent progress.
But if we dig a bit deeper, Russia shows a pretty notable CGR of 15.133%. And then there's Spain, Quite impressive at 16.012% CDR, growing from what, just under $38 million in 2021 to over $223 million by 2033.
Right.
What could be pushing Spain's growth faster than, say, Germany or France?
That's a good question. Spain's higher KGR compared to maybe some of its more industrially mature neighbors, it could be fueled by a few things. The source material hints at maybe a strong uptake in smart tourism solutions or intelligent transport systems,
Oh.
or maybe even a more aggressive push for digital transformation in the public sector. It's a good example of how, different regional priorities can really shape the market growth. But what's truly fascinating in Europe, I think, is the rest of Europe category, grouping the smaller markets together.
Yeah.
It actually has the highest regional KGR within Europe. Get this, 17.613%.
Wow. Really? Higher than Spain?
Higher than Spain. It's projected to grow from just $22 million in 2021 to over $157 million by 2033. And that's fascinating because it suggests this growth is really widespread. It's not just the big economies. The need for connected device management is kind of permeating everywhere across the continent.
That's a really powerful point about Europe. Okay, let's pivot now to Asia Pacific, because if you're looking for a global growth engine, this seems to be it. The APAC region has a really high overall CAGR, 16.064%. Market revenue projected to grow from about $592 million in 2021 to a massive $3.5 billion, $3,543.69 million by 2033.
And China, well, no surprise there, it leads the charge with really strong growth. Its market was about $217 million in 2021, expected to hit almost $1.42 billion by 2033. That's a 16.849% CAGR. Just the sheer scale and the speed of its industrial digitalization are huge drivers.
Right. And while China's leading, Japan and South Korea are obviously making significant contributions too, just in terms of market value. Japan, for instance, projected to grow from $125 million to over $620 million. South Korea from about $75 million to over $435 million.
Mm-hmm.
Their CAGRs might be slightly lower than China's, but their established tech economies mean they represent, really substantial market values already.
But the real standout here, it's India.
Okay, I saw this number.
It boasts the highest CGR across all the regions and countries we've discussed in the source material, an astounding 17.923%.
17.9%.
Yeah. Its market value is surging from about $66 million in 2021 to nearly $475 million by 2033. Let's just pause on that for a second.
Yeah.
That is a truly remarkable figure, even in a market that's booming everywhere else.
So what explains that? What makes India's growth so exceptional here?
Well, this kind of rapid growth suggests a really powerful mix of factors. You've likely got massive mobile penetration driving consumer IoT.
Right.
A significant government push for digital services, smart cities, Digital India and all that.
Makes sense.
Plus, a thriving startup ecosystem that's probably rapidly adopting industrial IoT and connected solutions for, well, everything from logistics to healthcare. It just shows this immense potential that's really starting to be realized.
It's incredible. That kind of trajectory from India is definitely something to keep an eye on. Okay, let's round out the globe. South America, the Middle East, and Africa. Now, they might have smaller market values right now.
Right, smaller starting points.
But the data suggests they're rapidly emerging as powerhouses too, right?
Right.
Kind of mirroring these shifts elsewhere.
Absolutely. Look at South America. The overall CAGR is 15.334%. Very strong. Brazil leads in terms of overall market size, naturally.
Okay.
But check out Colombia. It shows a particularly high CAGR of 16.925%, growing from just $11 million or so in 2021 to over $75 million by 2033. That indicates a really aggressive uptake of connected devices and the platforms to manage them.
And the Middle East, similar story.
Pretty similar. A 15.822% CAGR overall. Saudi Arabia is leading the region there, showing a strong 16.52% CAGR.
And given the region's focus on economic diversification, I'm guessing that's heavily tied into things like smart infrastructure, maybe oil and gas, digitalization.
Precisely. The report suggests Saudi Arabia's strong CAGR is definitely driven by massive investments. Smart city projects like NEOM, for example.
Right.
And just modernizing their industrial sectors, all of which rely heavily on robust connected device management. It's clearly a strategic move for them, building these future-proof economies. And then in Africa, we see a healthy 14.558% CAGR. Nigeria and South Africa are key contributors, but the rest of Africa category also shows significant growth, indicating it's pretty widespread there too, often linked to, increasing mobile connectivity and maybe leapfrogging older tech straight into smart connected solutions.
So what this really tells us then is that while these regions, South America, Middle East, Africa, they might have smaller market values today.
Yep.
Their really impressive casualties show they're catching up fast. They're becoming crucial drivers for the whole global market, kind of the next frontier for this transformation.
Exactly. So if we try to connect all these dots, what does it all mean? When you synthesize all this data, the sheer scale of this global growth, it isn't just about big numbers, is it? It points to something more fundamental, a shift in how businesses and governments operate. And what's fascinating, I think, is the consistency. These double-digit growth rates across almost every single region and country we looked at.
It's quite remarkable, isn't it?
It really is. That consistency points to a truly pervasive global trend. It's not just isolated pockets of growth. It highlights this universal need for these management platforms as the world just gets more and more connected.
Exactly. And that was really our mission today, wasn't it? To help you, the listener, see beyond just the individual figures and grasp this massive interconnected expansion happening worldwide. It's not just a few tech hubs. It's genuinely a global phenomenon.
Mhm.
And what seems crucial is that even countries starting with smaller market values are seeing these incredibly high growth rates, which means the spread of connected devices and the need to manage them effectively, it's reaching into, well, pretty much every corner of the world. It
Yeah.
really suggests an accelerating digital integration across all economies.
It's clear. From emerging markets rapidly adopting new tech to mature economies constantly upgrading, these connected device management platforms are becoming foundational. The consistent double-digit growth we've unpacked today, it's not just a forecast on paper. It's really a reflection of an ongoing, accelerating global transformation that's happening right now.
And there you have it, our deep dive into the truly exponential growth of the global connected device management platform market. I think the key takeaway is pretty clear. This isn't just steady growth. It's a global wave driven by all sorts of diverse regional factors, but totally united by this undeniable technological shift that's reshaping, well, everything, industries, daily life.
So maybe something to leave you with. Given these incredible projections we've discussed, this explosion of literally billions of managed devices, what does that really imply for the future, for our physical infrastructure, for the very definition of data security in a world that's connected, even for the nature of our day-to-day lives? How will the increasing complexity of managing all these interconnected devices truly shape the world you live in? And what new opportunities, or maybe challenges, might emerge from this sort of ubiquitous digital integration that's unfolding? Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something, well, really dynamic, the world of connected device management. Our plan is to unpack how these platforms are really becoming this critical infrastructure layer, foundational for modern businesses.
Yeah, it's quite a shift.
We've looked at some really interesting material for this.
And, if you're wondering why now,
Mm-hmm.
it's because the scale is just enormous. We're not talking a few devices anymore.
Right.
The number of connected things is just multiplying like crazy. Think industrial sensors, medical gear, logistics trackers, millions of them.
Wow.
And they all need smart management. How that's actually happening, well, some of the details might be pretty surprising.
Okay, so let's dive right in. What's really pushing this forward? The research points strongly towards this IoT explosion.
Yeah, that term gets used a lot, but it's real.
It's not just hype. We're seeing this huge surge in IoT devices, and the growth rate is, well, phenomenal across so many different areas.
It really is. And it's the variety, too. You've got healthcare, manufacturing, smart homes, precision tools on assembly lines, vital hospital equipment, complex home systems. The sheer number of these connected assets is just going through the roof.
So this growth, it basically demands platforms that can handle it all.
Absolutely necessitates them. Platforms that can monitor, manage, secure, all at scale. Without them, companies would just drown in the complexity.
And it's more than just keeping track of them, isn't it? These devices are now like central to mission-critical operations.
Exactly. This isn't just about convenience anymore. It's fundamental to how businesses run, to their success.
So control becomes key.
Right. What you need is centralized control over performance, connectivity, the health of the system, and the payoff. Well, the sources talk about predictive maintenance, which is huge. Also reduced downtime and just better operational efficiency overall.
It sounds like it changes the whole game from fixing things when they break to preventing breaks.
That's a great way to put it. Shifting from reactive break fix to a proactive foresee and prevent. It's almost like giving your equipment a digital crystal ball.
Okay, but with all these critical devices online, the obvious question, at least for me, is security. That have to be a massive concern.
It absolutely is.
The sources mention the constant threat of cyber attacks and also increasing regulatory demands. Security sounds like it's now a central pillar.
A very perceptive point. It has to be. So how do these platforms help? Well, first, they're crucial for ensuring data protection and regulatory compliance. That's table stakes now.
Hmm.
But beyond that, they're essential for safeguarding endpoints. That means locking down every single device, your factory robot, your smart thermostat, making sure it's secure.
Protecting each individual piece.
Precisely. And they also streamline those vital firmware and software updates. You need those to patch security holes, keep things robust. It's like the digital immune system for the whole network.
Right. So, incredible growth, critical reliance, tight security needed. Sounds like a winning formula. But adoption isn't always straightforward, is it? Our research highlighted some significant challenges.
Oh, definitely. Some real roadblocks. One of the biggest ones seems to be integration complexities, especially with older legacy systems.
Ah, the legacy problem.
Yeah. For organizations, particularly those, stuck with outdated infrastructure, this means higher integration costs and just slow deployment.
It's like trying to fit a brand new high-tech engine into an old car frame.
That's a perfect analogy. It's possible, but costly and time-consuming.
Okay, so integration is tough. What else? I remember reading about the data.
The data deluge, yes, that's another huge one. The sheer enormous data generated by connected devices can just swamp the network.
Overwhelm the bandwidth.
Exactly. And without a really robust architecture to handle it, you get processing lags, performance issues, and latency.
So getting the data isn't enough. You need to handle it effectively.
Right. Imagine trying to drink from a fire hose. The challenge isn't just volume, it's extracting useful, real-time insights from that flood. Robust architecture is absolutely key there.
And then there's the cost. Even if you see the benefits, getting started isn't cheap.
No, it's not. The research points to the high initial cost of deployment and also the ongoing maintenance.
And that can put off smaller companies.
It really can discourage small and mid-sized enterprises, especially, as the sources note, in emerging economies. It's a significant barrier.
So while the long-term ROI might be there,
The upfront investment can be prohibitive if you don't have deep pockets. It definitely raises the question of accessibility. Is this just for the big players, or will we see ways to make it work for smaller businesses too?
that's a really interesting point about accessibility. So looking forward then, where is this all heading? What are the big trends shaping the future here?
Well, one really significant trend is the move towards edge device management.
Edge, so not just cloud anymore.
Right. Instead of everything going back to a central cloud, management and processing happen closer to the device itself at the edge.
Can you unpack that a bit? The edge versus the cloud.
Sure. Think of it like processing data locally on the device or on a nearby server instead of sending it all the way back to some distant data center.
Okay, got it. And the advantages.
Big ones. It helps reduce latency, things happen faster, and cuts down on bandwidth usage because you're not sending so much data back and forth. Plus, it gives devices more autonomy. They can act quicker on their own.
Makes sense. Now, this next one really caught my eye in the research. AI. The integration of AI and predictive analytics is being called a game changer.
Oh, without a doubt. The potential is huge. AI lets these platforms do some really smart things like detect anomalies, perform that predictive maintenance we talked about, even automate complex decisions.
So, moving beyond just management to actual intelligence.
Exactly. It's all about ultimately enhancing device performance and reliability. AI is pushing us towards systems that aren't just managed, they're intelligent and self-optimizing.
It sounds incredibly powerful, but I wonder, what's the biggest hurdle for companies trying to actually implement that AI effectively? Seems complex.
That's a great question. I'd say the complexity of integrating AI models smoothly across all the different types of devices and, crucially, ensuring you have high-quality data at scale. That's probably a major challenge for many.
Yeah, data quality is always key.
Always.
Yeah.
But the promise is definitely there.
Okay, and the final trend mentioned was a move towards more specialized solutions.
Yes, a shift towards industry-specific solutions. It's less one-size-fits-all now.
So vendors are customizing.
They're tailoring their platforms much more. Think about it. The needs of an energy grid are totally different from a logistics company or a healthcare provider.
Right, different regulations, different device types.
Exactly. So these tailored platforms can offer better compliance and integration capabilities than generic offerings. It's about being precise, solving specific industry problems effectively.
Wow, okay. What a journey. We've gone from the why now, that explosive IoT growth, through the big challenges like integration and data, and now looking at the future with edge and AI. It really does seem like understanding connected device management is, well, essential for businesses today.
It truly is. And, just thinking about the pace of change here,
Hmm?
it's something to really consider. The growing intelligence, the autonomy of these devices,
Mm.
what does that actually mean for our daily lives, for industries, maybe in just the next few years?
Hmm.
If AI starts automating complex decisions right there at the device level, how does that change our whole interaction with the physical world around us? Are we heading towards environments that sort of think and act on their own? That's a provocative thought to leave folks with.